Alright, so this knife thoughts video is going to be about this knife, and this is the Swamp Rat Mega Swamp Warden coated in what they call their midnight blue coating. So I got this knife because I'd been carrying fixed blades more often, specifically the Spyderco Reverse and in a horizontal carry, and I kind of wanted a more general utility type design knife to carry in that same kind of slot as a small fixed blade. And I thought this design looked really nice, and I thought that it was kind of just really interesting with this super thick spine. So as you can see, it's an integral knife here. There's no handle scales or anything like that. You could do a wrap, but it doesn't come with any of that. And the spine of the blade as well as the handle is approximately 0.35 inches thick. So over 1/4 of an inch by a good bit there. And I thought it was just interesting. I mean, certainly going to be a super tough knife, as Busse combat knife group knives are known to be. But I wanted to get it and check it out, and pictures made it look like it had a relatively thin grind at the edge for how thick the spine is. It has what they call a hybrid combo grind, which is a flat, hollow, and convex. So kind of an interesting grind there. And it has their SR101 steel, which I've used before and really liked. I thought it held an edge well and everything like that. It's not a stainless steel, and that's why I went with the coated version. But the blade is a 2.75 inch blade, so small enough that it's easy to carry and isn't too obtrusive, but big enough that you can use it for general utility tasks. You can see you can pretty much get your finger to the tip of the blade, and you could do some definite cutting work with this, considering the blade length. I also kind of was envisioning this as a hunting knife for skinning and breaking down game, but the overall length is approximately 6.75, so you get a 2.75 inch blade and then a 4-inch handle, so it's a relatively full-sized handle. Even with my wide hands, I can pretty much get my whole hand on it. Now, I got this knife, and the first thing I noticed was that this midnight, what they call their midnight blue coating, is not very blue in person. I'm going to put a picture of the kind of promo picture that shows the different coating colors, and you can judge for yourself whether this looks the same as in the promo or advertising picture. But I think that it is a lot darker in person than I was expecting it to be. It is definitely, it's not like they got mixed up and sent me a black one. There is blue to it, as you can tell, but it's not very blue. It's very, very, very dark blue. So it wasn't super happy about that, because I was hoping to get a sheath made by my friend who does Dark Star gear sheaths and holsters, and he's the best out there, I think, for Kydex sheaths and holsters. And I was hoping to get him to make like a gold sheath for this, so that it would be a navy blue with a gold sheath, and I thought it would look really good. But now, I'm not sure exactly if that would work with this blue being so dark. So I'm not sure exactly if I'll still do that. The other thing is, I did think in pictures that I'd seen on blade forums and such that it looked like it came to a relatively thin edge, thin behind the edge. It's not a terrible grind for sure. I wouldn't say that this is, a bad grind. I would say that it's, certainly thin for how thick the spine is. But I just think before I put this thing to use, I kind of am thinking it might not work as well as I was expecting for general use, like cardboard cutting and things like that, because it has such a thick spine. It's kind of a trade-off. You get that super, excessive, more than you need toughness for a knife this size by having this thick spine. But even if the grind comes down to a thin edge, which, like I say, it seems to come down to a relatively thin edge, even if it does with this thick spine, it's not going to move through material as well as if it had a more normally a more normal width spine. So I haven't used this knife yet, so I can't, give an in-use review of this knife. I have used other Busse Combat Knife Group knives and Swamp Rat knives, and I've found the heat treat to be good. I found them to be tough. I found the coating to work well and everything. So I'm sure that if what you're looking for is a really, 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 really excessively strong small fixed blade, this would be a great option for you. I like the design itself. It feels good in hand. The handle does, because it's pretty thick, but a good length also. And I like the blade shape. It's a really, really classic drop point. I just wish that the color, the coating was a little bit more blue as it looked in the pictures online, and I'm not sure, now that I have it in hand and see, the extremeness of the thickness of the spine, if it will work as well as I was hoping for the kind of general utility usage that I was expecting for it. So this is the Swamp Rat Mega Swamp Warden. Very cool knife, one that I was actually looking forward to getting for a while, but I'm not 100% sure if it's one that's going to stay in my collection and carry. One last real quick note, these knives don't ship with a sheath, and it's a pretty major downside for me for a couple of reasons. One is this knife is relatively reasonable, I think, for price-wise for what it is, at basically $19. But then there's a pretty serious shipping charge and some taxes that bring it to like $135, and that's all without a sheath. So considering that this is not a general production knife, it's what you might call a mid-tech fixed blade, you're going to have to get a knife custom made for this. There are people like Buy Brown, Sheaths, and things like that who make them. They buy the knife so that you don't have to send the knife to them for them to make a sheath. They can make you a sheath and send you the sheath without you having to send the knife. But unless you go with someone like that, you'll have to send the knife out, have them make a sheath, custom for it, and it'll take a while and it'll be expensive. So it's going to add, I would say at the least $35. Some people for Busse knives get the kind of like generic tactical nylon sheaths. That I believe wouldn't work for this knife because it is so thick and so small. So you're pretty much going to have to get a custom knife for this, like I was planning to from Dark Star Gear. And that's going to add to the cost of it. It's going to bring it to, if not $170, maybe more. So at that price, it's getting to be a little bit pricey for me for a small fixed blade, or I guess any fixed blade, although I have had Busse combat knives that were more, and I think that they're, pretty much the best if you're looking for just like a ridiculously strong and kind of excessive ridiculous knife. I just think that after the cost of a sheath and the time that it's going to take to get the sheath, this knife at least I would say $150 or $175. I'm not real sure if you're looking for a general use, but again, if you're looking for a knife that's just excessively strong for a small excessively strong fixed blade, I think this is about the most extreme in that end you can get with the 0.35 inch spine. And then lastly, these knives do ship because they don't come with a sheath in a cardboard sleeve, and this knife came with a little bit of wear on the coating because this corner sticks out, and just like when I pulled it out of the sheath, I don't know if it's from them putting it in or me pulling it out or what, but it did come with a little spot of wear right on that corner. So like I said, don't know if this is going to stay in my collection or go into my carry, but it's an interesting knife for sure. And if you're looking for something like this, super strong and a small fixed blade, maybe check out the Swamp Rat Mega Swamp Warden. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it and leave a comment if you have anything to say. I'm always interested to see what people have to say about the different knives I review. Also subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications so you know when I post new videos, and check out my social media all at Knife Thoughts and my website at knifethoughts.com. And as always, don't forget to go out and do good.